up, YouTube? Topaz Jace back for another review, and this one's to that Tory Lanez What Happened to the Kids, and I'm giving this one the green light, dude, because this joint was pretty fire here. Even though he's not doing a phenomenal job lyrically, but this is something that I've said over the years. Like, you don't necessarily have to be great with lyrics in order to make quality music, you dig? There's a whole bunch of different formulas that people have taken to create and craft some phenomenal stuff. As this song is more driven by the flow that Tory Lanez have and the basic concept where he's trying to deliver a powerful message here. Now, a better lyricist could have pulled it off much better, but yet it still came off as pretty solid with that production. Where the basic concept is ultimately just saying, where have this generation of kids gone wrong, and is ultimately coming from the elder generations who didn't offer good advice or stop these individuals from doing things that would end up getting them to jail and all of this. Well, interesting, and then the video was kind of cool on how they did it. It got a little convoluted though, where what he's doing is he's going through multiple generations of the same kind of issue, where it begins off as the uncle coming out seeing the nephews getting anxious about somebody who was in the hood talking trash like they ain't gonna come through and handle them, and he's like, yo, go handle that. And from there it flashes back to the uncle's time when he was young, when he had to run up on somebody who was doing the same thing. And in that timeline, they actually do try to kill the guy, but end up killing like the little brother instead, and they end up doing time. Well, there's a bit of a plot hole here, because clearly the one who's telling these kids to go out and do the work wasn't the one who actually killed the kid. So clearly he's just talking nonsense and just trying to get people caught up because of some mentality that he feels though people should have that he didn't actually do. But it's the one who actually did go through and murder the children and all that actually gave the good advice to, nah, y'all go ahead and let that go, man. You don't want to go to jail. You don't want all that. And that's what Tory Lanez is ultimately saying here. Like, you need this kind of advice to keep people out. But yet, in order to get that advice, they would have to kill a child in an earlier time. You feel me? A bit of a plot hole there. But let's go ahead and break down this verse, which is all but one verse where, like, the video chops up the last little bit. Like, it makes it seem like it's multiple verses, but nah, it's all but one verse that's being had here. Where it begins off with him speaking of his spirituality, on how even when his spirit was low, he always felt Jah within him. And then he transitions it to hoping that his child can live that kind of life, to understand that there's a purpose and that God is going to look out for you, so therefore you don't have to pop a pill ever in your life. Like, you don't have to focus and conform to what all these other people are doing, because you have a purpose, you have something. And based off of this knowing, he goes into trying to do positive reinforcement to anybody, hoping that people would tell the kids to not go out there and kill your own. But that is where he begins to lose me, you dig? Because then he begins to delve into, what about black on black crime? You don't ever want to see violence happen and all of that, but yet by specifically targeting us, like we're the only ones that do crime in the community, that's what it ultimately feels like, you dig? But I still respect what he's trying to do with the song, as he finishes off the verses pretty much saying how all these people are getting caught up because they want to stunt on Instagram, and people are reacting violently to all of this. And you know, it is completely wrong for all of this to happen. This violence, it definitely needs to stop. But why is it that we as a people are always targeted with this? You feel me? Like, why isn't there any kind of songs like this going out to all these opioid addicts that's killing each other in the white communities? But no, all artists got to try to hold all of us accountable for what dusty individuals do. And it's all a brand of the music and everybody that's doing stuff, but yet you don't see none of them doing that. That's my only issue. But yet, musically, it's a solid song. Definitely one I recommend you guys to go ahead and peep on out. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can follow me at Twitter up there. And you can go to downloadpaz.com, that's down there, to read today's article.